right, the second main item that makes up passive building is that we are going to have a super insulated envelope. And so this means the insulation is going to be continuous on all 6 sides of the home, even under basement floors and at foundation walls. Now, how much insulation we use is usually going to be dictated by what climate zone the home is in. And typically you can expect 2 to 3 times code level in a passive house to make this high performance happen. Now, another great tool we use is there's some softwares available on the market which we model the home in SketchUp and import it into the software, and the program will tell us based on the exact climate data from the town that the home is located in, exactly how the house is going to perform based on how much insulation and how many windows we have and on what side of the home the windows are. It will calculate all the heat losses for the year and show us how much energy it will require to keep the home comfortable for an entire year. Now, what's great about this tool is that we could do a bunch of what-if scenarios. So what happens if I add 3 more inches of insulation to the roof? What happens if I shrink a couple of windows on the west elevation and add another couple of windows to the south elevation, and with a press of a button, boop, we see exactly how that's changing the heating and cooling loads for the entire year. So I like to think about this as if we're in a sound studio at the audio board, and we've got a whole bunch of different levers for various windows and insulation levels, and we can tweak the various these various factors and play around with them to come up with the most cost effective and giving us the biggest bang for the buck of how we spend our construction budget. And to me, this is like having Superman's X-ray vision using this tool before we build, which is fantastic. All right, now in terms of insulation choices, there's a lot on the market to pick from. And we're going to start with kind of the least eco-friendly and move our way through perhaps the most eco-friendly options that you have out there to pick from. So spray foam, as great as it is for air sealing and for higher R value per inch, it is one of the lesser eco-friendly solutions because it's harmful for the environment in its fabrication. It does release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and as you know, we're trying to diminish, if not stop, all of this to curb and halt climate change best that we can. But sometimes there's no choice. You can also get foam in board format, and you can see here a picture of the attic hatch for the Lakeside Net Zero Passive House, and we used a bunch of layers of foam board to make a super insulated attic hatch that met the same R value as the attic floor, so that again we were continuous across the entire ceiling of the second floor. This comes in different formulas, in EPS, which is open cell, and XPS, which is closed cell. So you have some options there. The next one I would look at is mineral wool, and this is made from basalt rock, diabase, or sometimes dolomite. It's combined with recycled blast furnace slag, a byproduct of steel production. It's incredibly fire resistant. It has multiple uses, including being useful under concrete slabs. But again, it is not as eco-friendly as some other options. For example, My favorite is cellulose, and cellulose is basically ground up newsprint. And so, what I like about it is that it's helping us create a circular economy by reusing existing materials that are out there and giving them a second life. Um, Cellulose is fire retardant, it's insect uh, repelling, it's moisture resilient. You can pack it in a high density to avoid settling. And it's one of the more eco-friendly options out there. Now, coming into the market is wood fiber insulation. And what's great about this is basically just reusing sawdust from wood fabrication facilities and sawmills and such, and making these compressed wood fiber panels that are used for continuous insulation. They also have a version that's ground up and can be used for filling cavities with insulation. Now, you typically could only get this from Europe, but recently there is a company in the state of Maine that has opened up, and they are now finally fabricating wood fiber insulation here in the US, which is a huge victory. And we were hoping to use this on the Indiana Dunes Passive House, but by the time we were ready and the construction timeline for it, they still weren't ready to mass produce it. So we had to switch to EPS for that project. And then another new one coming online is hemp. Hemp insulation is great because it uses no trees. It's very renewable. It's a farmable crop product, so we're not worried about taking up old growth forests, and it is really one of the best eco-friendly products available. And so there you have a nice summary of your insulation choices.